Welcome to Networking RX, a podcast devoted to helping business professionals like you enhance your networking skills in order to become more proficient giving and receiving quality business referrals and improving the overall quality of your life and the lives of those around you. The Networking RX podcast is a production of AmSpirit Business Connections, an organization whose mission is to empower business success through networking.
Welcome back. I'm Frank Agin, founder and president of AmSpirit Business Connections and your host of the Networking RX podcast. As a reminder, AmSpirit Business Connections is looking to grow its team, and it might just be a great opportunity for you or someone you know, so please take note. We're looking to add franchisees to our system. What does this entail? AmSpirit Business Connections franchisees help entrepreneurs, sales representatives, and professionals in their area connect, exchange quality referrals, and become more successful. They do this through a structured weekly morning meeting. Because these meetings are in the morning, generally wrapping up by 9 a.m., a successful business type or professional can add this franchise opportunity onto what they're already doing. All AmSpirit Business Connection franchisees do something else. For a couple hours in the early morning, a few days a week, our franchisees work the AmSpirit Business Connections franchise model. The rest of the time, they're entrepreneurs and professionals such as attorneys, accountants, realtors, coaches, and consultants of various kinds. Here's the neat thing. Not only do our franchisees realize a financial gain from operating their AmSpirit Business Connections franchise, but the business networks that they build and develop become a great source of referrals for their primary business focus as well. So if you or someone you know would like to learn more about the AmSpirit Business Connections franchise opportunity, please contact me using the email either in the show notes or the one we provide at the end of the program. Why just be in a business network when you can own the business network? Okay, let's jump in. Let's talk money. Who wants to talk money? Everybody loves money. Let's talk about money. Would you be motivated to network if whenever you met someone new, you got a few cents? What if you got some additional monies once you started to cultivate that relationship? Would you be inspired to take action if you got a nickel whenever you shared information with somebody you knew? How about if you got a dime if you encouraged somebody? What if you got a quarter? Or what if you got two for referring somebody a new client? Now, the general reaction to that is probably no way. If you only get a few cents for meeting someone new and a dime for this and a quarter for that, it's not worth it. Our networking efforts would seem to not really amount to much if you kind of think of it in a nickel here, a penny there. But let's think this through a little more carefully. Can a few cents here and there ever amount to something meaningful? Think back to when you were a kid. As a kid, if you're like me, you probably had at one time or another that small container or receptacle that was difficult to open, but simple for you to deposit occasional handfuls of spare change. It might not have been handfuls, it might have just been a nickel or a dime here and there. Certainly some of us used a jug or a bottle or an oatmeal box. Others had containers that represented antique cars or cartoon figures. And there were the lucky ones out there who had banks that neatly sorted the coins as they were deposited. No matter the type, size, or shape, however, we proudly referred to these holders of our great hoard of wealth as our piggy bank. Although our banks may not have been pig-shaped, the term was certainly fitting. It symbolized our effort to hog away our money. We hogged away money we found in the couch, in car seats. We hoarded away money from the tooth fairy. We salted away monies from our allowance and periodic gifts. Day after day, week after week, and month after month, we saved. We saved a penny here. We saved a nickel there. We saved a handful of dimes, and occasionally we were able to drop in a quarter or two. And if you were like me, you generally got a quarter or two from your grandmother who asked you to sing, and at the same time, your grandfather would give you a quarter or two to not. Whatever the case, one day you decide you actually want to see what you'd squirreled away. with and by all means you had available to you, pried open your piggy bank. And some of us had banks that weren't easy to do, and that's part of the point of squirreling it away. And from within the bank came pouring out a seemingly endless stream of coins. It was at this point that we realized that we had a small fortune, or at least a small fortune for a kid. We may have had even a couple $100. This was really absolutely amazing. After all, the money had literally only gone in a few cents at a time, or so it had seemed. This was sort of our little, our own personal little IPO. We were now in a position, it felt like, to virtually buy anything that a kid could need, or better yet, everything that a kid could want. Candy, gum, toys, bikes. Whether or not we still hoard our spare change, we need to approach networking as being no different than stashing away dimes, nickels, and quarters in a piggy bank. In fact, we all sort of have a networking piggy bank. Our networking piggy bank doesn't hold U.S. legal tender, it holds social capital. This is the end result of our networking efforts, and it measures how those we interact with enhance our lives. If you're looking for a more complete discussion of social capital and valuing your network, I invite you to refer back to episode number 6, entitled Valuing Networking Capital. Nevertheless, instead of earning the contents of our networking piggy bank by doing chores or singing for grandma, we interact with the people around us. We reconnect with old friends, we refer clients, we introduce others to new people, we share information, we offer support. There's a whole host of things that we do on a day-to-day basis, little things. Then instead of converting our social capital into toys, bicycles, or even possessions more suitable for adults, we use it to acquire more of the same for ourselves. We use it to be reacquainted with old friends. We use it to be referred to clients. We use it to be introduced to new people. We use it so others will give us information and encourage us when we're down. So certainly meeting just one new person, like saving a penny, is in and of itself not substantial. Like saving a nickel and a quarter here and there on a periodic basis, however, the impact of our networking begins to mount. So over time, we accumulate a small fortune of social capital. This is simply done one introduction, one encouraging word, and one referral at a time. And so the point of this episode of the Networking RX podcast is, don't look down on the little things in networking. Don't look at spending a little time on LinkedIn or Facebook as a waste of time. Think of it in terms of you're dropping nickels, dimes, and quarters into a fictional social capital piggy bank. Don't look down on going to an event and just having idle chit chat with somebody. Certainly, it's very, very easy to sit at your desk and work, because there's a direct link generally between what you're doing, sitting at your desk, and the money that you make. Networking is more of the long play. Networking is like putting little dimes, quarters, and nickels into a piggy bank. In the moment, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot there. But as we move forward and that bank starts to fill, and again, every interaction, every handshake, every introduction, every small talk conversation, all those little things start to add up. And if you do it right and you continue after it, day after day, week after week, month after month, then one day your networking piggy bank is teeming to the brim. At this point, just like when you were a kid, you can use its contents to achieve literally anything you need and get virtually anything that you want.
Thanks for joining us on the Networking RX podcast. Please put what you've learned into action today and let us know if you have questions, comments, or ideas for future topics. You can email them to us at podcast@amspirit.com. That's AmSpirit.com. Finally, so you never miss an episode, be sure to subscribe to the Networking RX podcast through iTunes, Overcast, or however you receive your podcasts. Now get out and network with someone.
The Networking RX podcast is the copyright production of AmSpirit Business Connection. All rights reserved.